This happened when I was probably 7 or 8. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some really messed up stuff. When I was a kid, I lived in a pretty sketchy neighborhood. We lived in those long apartments, the ones that are attached at the sides rather than stacked up on top of each other. The front of the apartments faced the main road, and there was a little side street to access the parking and backyards of the apartments. Behind the apartments was a massive field. It was super overgrown, so much that it was almost a little forest, and my friends and I used to go back there to build hobbit holes in the grass. My mom hated it when we went out there because there were some rough people that lived in the neighborhood, and she didn't like a group of 7-year-olds playing out where people also shot up heroin. I'm adding a photo so you can see what it looks like. The purple circle was our apartment. One day, I was out in the woods by myself, just exploring and pretending to be Indiana Jones or something. As I was coming out of the tall grass, I could see the little back alley in between the parking/houses and the woods, and I saw a deer lying in the grass. I thought it was just sleeping, so I crept up to it to try to scare it. When I got there, I knew something was off. The deer was too still, and it smelled horrible. I could see its face, and its back was facing me, but when I got up to it, I nearly had a heart attack when I saw that its entire stomach was ripped open and all the insides were spewed around the ground. I wasn't a smart kid, but I knew that this was fucked up. When I turned to run back home to tell my mom, I saw a second deer nailed to the tree next to the first deer. I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but its 2 front hooves were nailed above its head to the tree. The stomach was also cut open, and the ribs had been broken open to expose the gaping hole. As I stood there staring at it, a car drove past on the little alley. I remember it was a white car with tinted windows and was driving really slowly. I mean, everyone drove slow on this alley because it was a residential street, but these people were barely even moving. I couldn't see inside, but I got the sinking feeling that they were just watching me. Obviously, I can't be sure that they were the ones who mutilated the deer. Once they were gone, I booked it home and told my mom about the whole thing. She told me not to go into the field anymore, and I happily agreed. I didn't particularly enjoy seeing a deer's insides, and I would have loved to just forget about the whole thing. For the next few months or so, I saw that car everywhere. It would drive up the main road while I was playing in the front yard. It would drive down the back alley when I would be in the backyard. And I even remember seeing it at the grocery store when my mom and I went shopping. That could have just been another tinted windowed white car, but they were definitely stalking the house. It was always the white car, always the tinted windows, and always driving way too slowly to be normal. I told my mom about it, but she just chalked it up to just being a neighbor down the road or something. One day, my mom was out mowing the front lawn. Because of the way the apartments were set up, she had to push the lawnmower around all of the apartments to get to our backyard. Being the helpful little kid I was going to meet my mom out back to open the gate for her so she could put the lawnmower in the little shed. As I'm walking out to the gate, I see the car along the back alley. Normally, the car goes slow. As soon as it turned the corner, however, the driver stopped on the grass and zoomed up to me. The back door closest to me opened, and someone got out and started running towards me. I don't remember what he looked like, or even if it was a he. I just remember hauling ass back into the house, pissing myself the whole time. After that, my dad yelled at me for peeing myself, and neither he nor my mom believed me about the guy in the car. I never saw him again after that, and we moved a few months later. My parents think I made the whole thing up, even though they know how sketchy the neighbor was. I don't remember anyone going missing around that time in my town, and I didn't find anything when I googled it, but it was really messed up, and I have no idea who those people in the car were, why they mutilated the deer, or what they had planned for me.